Hi there. This video is about chakras, and you might be wondering, why should I know what chakras are and why should I try to balance them or harmonize them, make them flow. And so, well, in my experience is that when you manage to become aware of your chakras, this automatically makes them flow more. So the awareness is the first step. And I tend to see the chakras as a group of friends. So when one chakra is feeling down or it's feeling depleted, it's really working on a theme. All the other friends, the other chakras, they support that chakra. So it's one system. So they're energy centers within your body. And they are part of your subtle body, and your subtle body consists of your aura, your auric field, and the 7 main energy centers in your body. So there are more energy centers, and the auric field, it consists of 7 layers, but it's too much to go into that. So you have the aura, which stretches about 1 meter away from you. And this is an egg-shaped, your private domain, and this is also your protection. And then you have the 7 main energy centers, the chakras, and they start at your sacrum, and then they go all the way up within your body, right up to your crown chakra. And so where the root chakra, which is at your sacrum, is the most dense of chakras, when you make your journey through the chakras, you end in the crown chakra, which is the true kingdom. So this is the true homecoming. So we have our physical home. This is our body and the physical world, the material world. But of course, the true home is our spiritual home. And so you could say you have the earthly kingdom, right? You can have a regal or a political kingdom, but you can also access the true kingdom of God. And this is where you come home in the crown chakra. And so the way I see it, the way the old Vedic Hindus saw it, is that there's this life force that is coiled up at the base of your spine. In each human being, it's called the kundalini. And so this is your life force energy. You could also call this your creative force or your sexual force. And so when you awaken this, it starts its journey through the chakras. And there's male chakras, there's female chakras, so I'll explain later on. And that's why it's important to embrace the female and the male side of life. So the feminine and the masculine, the receiving and the giving side, the passive and the active side, right? So in the West, we tend to be focused on the yang side of life, very focused on willpower and action. But just as there's day and night, or there's winter and summer, we have passiveness and activity. So, you cannot say that day is more important than night, can you? Without night, day doesn't exist, and without resting at night, you cannot be active during the day. So it's very important to engage in, to also give attention to the more feminine chakras, such as your heart chakra or your crown chakra. So to connect with others, to feel gratitude, to feel this warm space within, to feel love, to feel unconditional love, to have the time to love, or have the time to be in nature where you feel you nurtured in your heart, right? Or to engage in practices that make your crown chakra bloom. So being in silence, being alone, maybe doing yoga or doing crafts or something that makes you feel still within and makes you enter a meditative state, a state in which you connect to the greater reality. So for me as a psychic reader, it's very natural to live, in a non-physical world. This for me is part of my reality. And so working with the chakras is a great way of accessing this, because you might sort of have a hunch that it's not only the physical world we're living in, right? So when you start working with the chakras, you can make them flow more, and you can also release blockages. So everyone has blockages. We are all here on our journey. So this is nothing to be afraid of. It's nothing to be scared of. It may be very challenging, yes, and it can take a long time sometimes before you get to release a theme, a blockage in your chakra. But so the more you work on the chakras, the more that kundalini, that life force, can rise up along your spine as a snake rising, right? And so in Hinduism, they say that when you reach the crown chakra, that is the moment you become enlightened. So this is really the goal, and this is accessible for all of us. But you can, of course, understand that when you are kept at a survival level, so you are kept in the material reality because of shortages there, for example, or a mindset of scarcity, or, other situations, factors that play a role. I won't go into them now, but so if you're being put in that survival level, it's very hard to let the kundalini rise and access the higher levels of your consciousness, right? To get to the crown chakra. So you need to have it all sorted, in the lower chakras before you can access the higher chakras, right? So this is, or maybe, what can also be a blockage is that you're being programmed. You've been programmed to believe that the physical world is all there is. You've been programmed with a materialist, a nihilist ideology. So you've come to believe that when you die, there's nothing, and you mean nothing in the universe, and your life is meaningless, and we don't know anything. And this can make you feel very lonely and abandoned, and you can experience a lack of fulfillment, a lack of purpose, higher purpose. And so this can close off, such beliefs can be programmed into you. Usually this goes via the third eye, and this can prevent you from accessing your spiritual home, access your crown. So there are a lot of things that play a role, and so in general, I like to zoom in on the chakras, and I like to zoom out to talk about them in general, because I could sum up now all the functions of each chakra, but that is just a bit boring, so for now. So I'll just talk about them generally. And so once the lower chakras, they're all more about your emotions, your identity, your ego, your physical well-being, your sense of belonging. So, and once you get to the fourth chakra, which is the heart chakra, which is symbolically placed in the middle, it's central. So it's about feeling connected and feeling love, and like I said, unconditional love as well. And so I think this is symbolical. So it's there for a reason in the center. So you could say, if you look at the chakras, that love is central to who we are. But so if you come to the level of the heart chakra, it becomes more transpersonal, these chakras. You sort of shed, the sort of more ego-related themes in your life. You start to become more interested in traveling in space and time, group consciousness, like I said, unconditional love, your spiritual home. So it's kind of a journey that becomes more and more abstract and more spiritual. And so there are many ways in which you can make your chakras flow. So you can engage in yoga, or you can do sound bowls, or use mudras or chants. You can use crystals. You can do exercises visualizations, affirmations, guided meditations. And so, yeah, because, can you imagine just having that whole subtle body and not being aware of it? This is also your intuition. This is also part of you. This is a nurturing part of you as well. And it speaks to you. It is you. So usually people, when they're entering a big crisis, they feel this longing to understand their lives and themselves at a higher level, at a deeper level, right? And but I feel it's really important always to be connected, to be rooted in your spirituality. So in your spirituality, and so this is not confined to any religion or philosophy. You're totally free. You're totally an autonomous being. So this is really something, it's free of dogma. And so if you want to, if you start becoming more and more anchored in this intuition, in your energetic body, you will enrich your life and come to a much greater understanding and growth, because you will become so much more aware. So it's more like you become the master of your life, instead of maybe being the slave, or being, the one who's just sort of, well, they put me out here and I don't understand. I don't know what's happening. I try to lead my life, but I just don't feel I'm in control, or I don't understand what is happening in my life. I don't know what I want in my life. So to have that guidance, within you, this is very important, and you can benefit greatly from it. And because in my experience, and I had an out-of-body experience when I was 22, and after that I became psychic, and I started training to become a psychic reader. But in my experience, we are not alone, and so much more is possible. And when you focus on the chakras and focus on your subtle body, you will find your life will start to change for the better. It's as if the wheel starts to turn, or the tables start to turn. How do you call this? And you can also take more responsibility for your life. So this is very important. And you can also start manifesting, for example, because you understand who you are and what you are, and you can use your abilities, also your psychic abilities, for your own good. So this is and yeah, so it really starts to change your life, and it's really meant to enrich you. So a whole world will open up. Yeah, so that was it for today. I hope I've inspired you. I hope you will start getting to know your chakras better, and that it will greatly benefit you. Bye bye.